According to reporting from the Washington Post, Kari Lake has finally been kicked out of Mar-a-Lago. Hopefully this is the last Kari Lake update for a while, but honestly you never really know with her. She is still running a senatorial campaign, so that will keep her somewhat relevant at least until November, but it seems as though her vice presidential aspirations have finally been dashed. It always seemed to me as if her Senate bid was just sort of a placeholder for her, like she was just doing it to be doing something while she was waiting for the VP nod from Trump. But Trump seems to see her as more of a liability than anything, not just for his own campaign by association, but also for the Republican Party in general. We've talked about her Senate race in the past, and she does have quite a bit of Republican money behind her, but that has less to do with her and more to do with the fact that the Republicans really want to pick up that Arizona Senate seat. According to sources, Trump thinks Lake is so unpopular in Arizona that it will not only cost the Republicans a Senate seat, but it might even hurt his own chances of winning Arizona in the presidential race.
Nick, I'm up here on stage. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? President Trump, is that you?
Hey, that is me, and it's great to be talking to all of my friends in Hidalgo.
President Trump, they really
well, and I love them.
The state of Arizona currently has a Democratic governor, Katie Hobbs, who defeated Kari Lake in the 2022 gubernatorial race. Lake is now running to fill Kyrsten Sinema's seat. Sinema turned out to be who she turned out to be, but the fact remains that when she was elected, the voters of Arizona thought they were electing a progressive Democrat. It seems unlikely that those same voters would now throw all of their support behind the uber MAGA Kari Lake.
We need to strap on our, let's see, what do we want to strap on? We're going to strap on our seatbelt. We're going to put on our helmet, or your Kari Lake ball cap. We are going to put on the armor of God. And maybe strap on a Glock on the side of us just in case. You can put one here and one in the back or one in the front, whatever you guys decide.
And even Republican voters in Arizona don't love Kari Lake. She's become a vocal election denier, both for herself and for Trump. She's flip-flopped her stance on major issues like abortion rights, and she's become so desperate for Trump's approval that it's embarrassing. Meghan McCain is famously not a fan of hers, and if Meghan's opinion is worth anything to anyone anywhere, it would be to the Republican voters of Arizona. The so-called McCain Republicans of Arizona already are not fans of Lake's far-right stances and political tactics, but they are especially unforgiving of Lake's claims that former Arizona Senator John McCain was a loser and that anyone supporting McCain should, quote, get the hell out of the Republican Party. She later tried to say that she was just joking when she said all of that, but really, she was just echoing the things that Trump, who she supports implicitly, has said about McCain. She also secretly records people during meetings and phone calls, including Republican Party officials, and then she holds on to those tapes for leverage, so she's not exactly making friends in high places. One notable incident happened when she recorded then Arizona GOP Chairman Jeff DeWitt when he asked her to reconsider her bid for Senate. Lake released the tape to the public, which ultimately led to DeWitt resigning from his position. And she's not making friends in Arizona either because apparently she's never there. According to reports, Trump has urged her to leave Mar-a-Lago, stop following him around, and go campaign in Arizona. The Washington Post states that Trump has inquired as to whether or not she can actually win in Arizona and if her association with him could drag his own polling numbers down. Trump and Melania have also allegedly shown annoyance at Lake's constant presence at Mar-a-Lago, and when she lost her bid for governor in Arizona, Trump told his friend, quote, she didn't win. So the Republicans are in a really bad spot. They don't have any choice but to publicly support Lake for senator, but enough has come out to where we know that the party doesn't actually like her. Who cares what they say or who they endorse publicly if you know it's not real? I imagine the Arizona voters who will vote for Kari in November will only do so because they too have no other choice but to support her. It seems unlikely that Republican voters will completely flip and vote for a Democrat, but who knows? Maybe the abortion issue in Arizona will be enough to flip some Republican voters, or at least get them to sit this election out. And I guess may the best candidate win. Kari Lake was photographed at a campaign event speaking to several empty chairs and one man who seemed distracted. And yes, it's a picture. It should be taken with a grain of salt. I don't know when the picture was taken. Maybe it was taken just prior to the event actually starting. Maybe there were more people in the room just out of frame. Who knows? But it's not a good look for Kari Lake, the metaphorical basket in which Republicans have placed all of their metaphorical eggs. They are desperate to win the Arizona Senate seat, which will be left vacant once Kyrsten Sinema's term is up. But unfortunately for the Republicans, Kari Lake is the candidate they got stuck with. She is so unpopular that even Republicans have a hard time finding good or nice things to say about her. She can't even catch a break on Fox News. Lauren Wright, a Princeton research scholar, said on Fox News that a Senate victory for Lake was unlikely. During the segment, she alluded to, quote, Trump-aligned candidates who are more extreme than the state is. When asked for clarification as to who she was talking about, she said, quote, you have states like Arizona where Kari Lake is still denying the 2020 election.
But then you have states like Arizona where Kari Lake is still denying the 2020 election. She'll very likely be the nominee. And that's maybe a state that Democrats will end up getting, and Republicans in any other election year with any other candidate at the top of the ticket and in the Senate place should win that state.
Wright was making the point that swing voters specifically are not impressed with the kind of tactics or shenanigans that people like Kari Lake tend to employ, and she asserted that if the Republicans are unable to win the Arizona Senate seat, it will be because of Kari Lake. Still, Kari's not giving up. In fact, she is planning to fight even harder because that's what she does. Lake's campaign is planning to spend $10 million in ads. Her opponent, Ruben Gallego, has already been outspending Lake, with his campaign focused on the abortion issue and Lake's campaign focusing on immigration. It's a big step for people to jump parties. It's almost akin to switching religions for people because a lot of times the party you align yourself with is the party you've been associating with on the most fundamental level of your being for years. Whether or not that should be the case is another story, but switching political parties often requires someone to examine their own personal belief and value systems, as well as what they're willing to tolerate or sacrifice. It can even mean alienating oneself from family members or coworkers and friends. It's a big deal to ask a very convicted person to switch political parties, which is why these elections tend to focus on those who are less convicted, those less quote-unquote political people. They're the ones, the ironically less political ones, who are the most important and relevant voters.